It's only fitting that after a crazy season and even crazier playoffs, the two teams that would be in the Super Bowl are products of the chaos. One team literally went crazy overhauling their roster for this moment. The Rams over the last two seasons were adding in so many pieces that would look more like a Madden Ultimate Team lineup and what could have been their best possible shot at the trophy, especially ending the hopes for the reigning Super Bowl champion Buccaneers in what was Tom Brady's last game. All those thoughts must have been in panic mode when at halftime they were down 17-7 against the Niners after a failed 4th and 1 conversion and a failed challenge. But they erased the 10-point deficit to win 20-7 thanks to the stars they acquired during the last few years and some even the last few months. When Matthew Stafford arrived last offseason in a trade, he wanted to play meaningful football for the first time in a long time. After years of just racking up yards, mileage, and just stress and, despair living in Detroit, he helped set the table for his receivers to deliver. Cooper Kupp is having one of the best seasons for a wide receiver possibly ever, and was the best receiver for the Rams last Sunday. And Odell Beckham Jr., who they got literally 2 months ago in Week 10 after his unceremonial exit from Cleveland, had his best game as a Ram. All this frees up another budding star on the receiving team in Van Jefferson. The Rams defense at times just looked overwhelmed, especially by the play of Deebo Samuel, but when it was needed the most, the star on the defense, Aaron Donald, got good pressure, breaking through double coverage to get pressure on Garoppolo and force him into an eventual interception that cost the game. To be honest with how Garoppolo has played, honestly, throughout the entire playoffs, this could have just happened even if Donald was there or not. But we're not going to get there. Y'all ain't going to do like me, whatever her name is. I actually don't. I don't know her name. This is the second time this team has damn near collapsed in the span of a couple weeks, but hell, they're here. Out of all the madness, out of all the chaos, they still here. And they kind of have home field advantage as they go up against a team that's literally bred from the craziness, the Bengals. No lead is ever really safe in the NFL playoffs, because I was damn near ready to talk about the Chiefs in the Super Bowl as the Bengals were down 21-3 before halftime, but a short pass from Joe Burrow to Samaj Purney cut that down to 21-10. But let's be real, if Tyreek Hill got into the end zone just by a smidge, this would have been 29-10 after a holding penalty pretty much had them 3 yards away from making this game completely out of reach. Maybe some foreshadowing there. Now, without even talking about the Bengals, let's just talk about the really bad performance from Patrick Mahomes. This is literally some of the worst play I've ever seen from the guy who's otherwise reliable in these situations. He had a short pass that was picked off by BJ Hill, which led to a Bengals score that tied the game up. On the same token, that costly interception in OT was just bad luck if anything. It bounced off an intended receiver on a one-on-one setting and Bell got it, which let Burrow carve a still suspect defense to field goal range. Let's talk about the menace himself, Joe Shiesty, because honestly, he was in play action situations many times. He should have just been sacked and he was evading danger like White Vic, just extending the plays, getting open to one of my favorite players this year, Jamar Chase. Remember when people said he wasn't good? When people said he didn't know how to catch a football? That was shit. Jamar, like Kupp, is having an incredible season, arguably one of the best rookie seasons for a wide receiver. He has commanded potential star status in the future and is not only making big plays, but he creates space for guys who will make big plays if you commit on Chase in Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins. But Burrow has been the guy. He has kept the plays alive, made great plays out of nothing all season, and in this postseason run, he has the intangibles that you can't add up on a stat sheet, but you just know it. He has, dare I say, it. He has it. I don't know what it is, but he has it. And this is what the Bengals have been looking for. They've had good quarterbacks, but nobody that really can command that superstar status. And Burrow can. There's just a confidence about him. There's a demeanor, a swagger that he just brings. I don't know. Maybe it's just bred through the fact that the Bengals are super underdogs. And at this point, they're playing with house money. I wouldn't be surprised, and I would downright welcome the prospect that this crazy season caps off with Burrow holding the Lombardi Trophy. Before I go even any further, we got to give credit where credit is due, because this position always gets the least amount of love. Evan McPherson has been cranking clutch kick out of his ass Literally, all of the Bengals wins this postseason has come down to a field goal, and McPherson has been colder than the chain Joe was wearing last Sunday. Sometimes it is the right answer to just draft a kicker. So here we are. The most unlikely duo capping off one hell of a season and the postseason. So what actually are we looking for? Now, honestly, it's not that it's like really early to talk about this, but like with Tom Brady's retirement, Brian Flores' lawsuit, and just a whole bunch of other stories going around in the world of sports, we may not talk about Super Bowl Sunday until Super Bowl Sunday. But what I'm looking at is two teams that have QBs that can lend some margin of error for their respective head coaches, both having stellar weapons in their receiving core and probably won't get much help from their run game, but they'll make some plays. Sean McVay is a good head coach. He guided the Rams to a Super Bowl in 2018 and the playoffs in 2020. Keep in mind, he had Jared Goff under center and whatever was left of Todd Gurley's knees, okay? He's been questionable in clock management overall, and I think highly of his abilities to coach, and boy, everyone who works with him gets put on, including Zach Taylor, who he will be facing. As the Bengals head coach, there is no way to slice it. He has a suspect record in his first 2 years as the head coach. It's not all his fault. The team practically fell apart when Burrow got hurt last year, but fans predicted he would be the first head coach to be fired this year. And even though I still don't trust his decision making and constantly going for the run, even if it means giving Burrow less favorable field position, the more they win, the more it gets harder to criticize Taylor. I'm looking at the Rams overcommit on keeping Chase in prison. It could open up guys like Boyd and Higgins to make plays. However, lots of Burrow's game is letting the play set up and getting perfect precision to his. I can't pronounce it today. I'm parched. Give me a second.
A few moments later.
Perfect precision to his receivers, and if the Rams defense, which is fully capable of causing disruption on the Bengals O-line and to cover receivers, even semi-decently, it can create windows of opportunities for the defense to harass Burrow. And although, like, I should also point this out that I heard somewhere, I don't know who said it on the team, I don't know if it was the offensive coordinator or some of the players, they don't care if Ramsey's on Chase. Ramsey better going to be chasing after that motherfucker because they're going to be throwing to him a lot. So I can't wait to see that matchup. That's going to be a good one. Burrow was sacked more times this postseason than any QB in the history of the postseason. I believe so. I read a stat. I read something about that. And now he has Aaron Donald and Von Miller trying to put him in the ground, with support from Leonard Floyd, Ashawn Robertson, and Greg Gaines. However, the questions for the Rams remain on how Stafford will look in his first Super Bowl. Nobody gets this far to get this far. But for someone like Stafford, who before hasn't even won a playoff game, you have to think that this pressure is going to get to him. I don't think so. He's playing the best football of his career. He wanted to be in this position. He left Detroit to be in this position. But, let's get back to football, though. A real question you can ask is how much are they going to solely rely on the arm of Stafford to generate yards, offense, and just some momentum, as I really don't trust the running back core. I love Cam Akers, and I love Cam Akers' story as much as the next guy. He's pretty much stuck a middle finger to the concept of modern science. Aaron Rodgers would be happy with you, but they've been running a running back by committee there, and I don't think they'll be good enough to get past the Bengals defense that, although is questionable at times, knows how to get stops when it matters the most, which will put more pressure on Stafford to keep drawing out plays. On top of what I said earlier about McVay's clock management, which a team that is really dynamic like the Bengals, they will eat that. They will take full advantage of those mistakes that McVay has shown that he's made more than a few times. For the Bengals, they might have no pressure as nobody expected them to be here in the first place, and you can tell that they're playing that way. But this is the most talented team they will play in the entire postseason. But shit, if they got past the Chiefs, I don't know, who says they can't get past them? The Rams. Who knows? So I'm on record now. To be honest, I would love the Bengals winning it all and completing this Cinderella-esque run. Get your Disney checks and all that shit. But I think the Rams have so many different ways to drag this game out and pull off a win. And I think by 2 touchdowns, I feel like it's going to be close throughout, and then the Rams will kind of get away from it in midway through the third, maybe in the fourth. I just think that the Rams have more ways to exploit the weaknesses of the Bengals. is the best way to say it. And I want to see, and you know, even without football, I want to see guys like Donald, Stafford, Beckham, Ramsey, Miller. I want to see guys like that just be able to say that they won and hold the trophy and get a ring. That's something I really want to see. Especially Beckham. He's literally one of my favorite football players. He's probably the reason I even wanted to play football in the first place in high school. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm. That's why I think. How y'all moving about it though? Take care of y'all chicken and take care of y'all mental, yo. I'll catch y'all later.